Welcome to Austria, a land where alpine peaks kiss the sky and history whispers through cobblestone streets. Nestled in the heart of Europe, Austria is a country of timeless charm, musical heritage, and breathtaking natural beauty. Our journey begins in Vienna, the capital. Known as the City of Music, Vienna was home to legends like Mozart, Beethoven, and Strauss. Walk through the grand halls of Schönbrunn Palace, or sip coffee in a centuries-old cafe along the Ringstrasse. Here, every building has a story, every melody a legacy. Travel west, and the landscape changes. Rolling hills rise into the towering Alps. In Salzburg, the birthplace of Mozart, Baroque architecture lines the streets. The sound of church bells echoes through the valley, and the Salzach River glides quietly beneath graceful bridges. Austria is not just history, it is alive with tradition. In Tirol, locals wear lederhosen and dirndls with pride. Wooden chalets dot the hillsides, and the rhythm of Alpine folk music fills the air during festivals. In winter, the mountains transform into a paradise for skiers, with fresh powder and cozy lodges welcoming visitors from around the world. The Hallstatt, a village so enchanting, it feels like a dream carved into the edge of a lake. Tucked between the Gastein Alps and the glassy waters of Lake Hallstatt, this small Austrian village is often called one of the most beautiful places on earth. With its pastel-colored houses and wooden balconies draped in flowers, Hallstatt looks like a storybook brought to life. Its history reaches back more than 7,000 years. Hallstatt gave its name to an entire era, the Hallstatt culture, one of Europe's earliest civilizations. It all began with salt. Deep beneath the mountains lies one of the oldest salt mines in the world, once called white gold for its value. Today, the mine is open to visitors, offering a glimpse into ancient tunnels where miners once carved their way through rock. A wooden slide leads you into the heart of history, a fun and fascinating journey underground. Above ground, the village is equally captivating. Walk through its narrow lanes, where each step reveals centuries of tradition. The market square is the heart of Hallstatt, surrounded by cafes, shops, and a peaceful fountain that has watched over the town for generations. High in the heart of the Austrian Alps lies a road like no other, the Grossglockner High Alpine Road. A journey along this road is not just a drive, but an unforgettable adventure through some of Europe's most stunning mountain landscapes. This legendary route stretches for nearly 30 miles, winding its way through the Hohe Tauern National Park. It was opened in the year 1935 and remains one of the most breathtaking mountain roads in the world. The road climbs gracefully, with 36 hairpin turns, leading you higher and higher into the clouds. At every curve, a new view appears: green alpine meadows, snow-dusted peaks, and waterfalls tumbling down steep cliffs. The crown jewel of this journey is the view of Austria's highest mountain, the mighty Grossglockner. Standing at over 12,000 feet, it watches silently over the land, surrounded by glaciers and silence. One of the most iconic stops is the Kaiser Franz Joseph's Hohes lookout. Here visitors stand face to face with the Puster Glacier, the longest glacier in the Eastern Alps. On a clear day, the sight is both humbling and majestic, nature in its purest form. In the heart of Austria's Salzkammergut region lies a lake of crystal waters and timeless charm. This is Lake Wolfgang, or Wolfgang See, as the locals call it. Framed by rolling green hills and towering alpine peaks, Lake Wolfgang is a place where nature, culture, and history live in perfect harmony. Stretching over 6 miles in length, its clear waters reflect the changing sky and the peaceful rhythm of village life. On its western shore sits the picturesque town of St. Gilgen. With flower-decked balconies and winding cobblestone lanes, it feels like a living postcard. Mozart's mother was born here, and the town still hums with musical spirit and quiet elegance. Further along the shore lies St. Wolfgang, a village rich in legend and beauty. It is said that St. Wolfgang himself built a church here in the 10th century. That very church, with its stunning Gothic altar, still stands proudly beside the water. One of the lake's most beloved attractions is the Schafberg Railway. This cogwheel train, in operation since the late 19th century, climbs to the summit of Mount Schafberg. At the top, a breathtaking panorama unfolds: the lake below, the Gastein peaks beyond, and the silence of the high alpine world. Lake Achensee, the shining jewel of Tirol, Austria's largest alpine lake. Nestled between the Karwendel and Röfen mountain ranges, Lake Achensee stretches for nearly 6 miles and reaches depths of over 400 feet. Its waters shimmer in shades of deep turquoise and emerald green, earning it the nickname, the Fjord of the Alps. This natural wonder has been attracting visitors for centuries. The lake's history is as deep as its waters. In the late 19th century, Emperor Franz Joseph himself traveled here, seeking peace and fresh mountain air. Today, that same peace welcomes travelers from all over the world. The villages that surround the lake, Pertisau, Marach, and Aachenkirks, each offer their own charm, from quiet lakeside walks to vibrant traditions. In Pertisau, visitors can explore the centuries-old Achensee steam cog railway, which connects the lake to the Inn Valley. Since the year 1889, this historic train has climbed the steep slopes, offering a nostalgic journey through time. The lake is also a paradise for outdoor lovers. In summer, windsurfers and sailors glide across its steady breezes. Welcome to Zell am See, where alpine beauty meets the sparkle of lake and sky. Tucked in the heart of the Austrian Alps, Zell am See is a picture-perfect town resting beside the crystal waters of Lake Zell. Surrounded by snow-capped mountains and lush green slopes, it is a destination that feels both grand and intimate. At the center lies the lake itself, nearly 2.5 miles long, with waters so clear they reflect the peaks above like a mirror. In summer, people swim, sail, or simply stroll the shores, enjoying the calm rhythm of life by the water. Beyond the lake, the town tells its own story. Zell am See dates back to the Roman era, but it began to flourish in the 19th century, when the railway brought visitors seeking mountain air and alpine charm. Cobblestone streets and historic buildings now blend with cozy cafes and local shops. Towering above is the Hohe mountain. A cable car carries visitors to the summit, where panoramic views stretch across the Hohe Tauern range. On clear days, you can see over 30 peaks higher than 10,000 feet. Deep in the heart of Austria's High Tauern National Park, there is a place where water dances from the sky and nature reveals its raw power. This is the Krimml Waterfalls, the highest waterfalls in Austria and among the tallest in all of Europe. Falling from a height of nearly 1,300 feet, the Krimml Waterfalls descend in 3 mighty tiers. The sound of rushing water grows louder as you approach, echoing through the forest like distant thunder. The journey begins in the charming village of Krimml. From here, a well-marked path leads you up the mountain, alongside the falls. It takes just over an hour to reach the top, with viewing platforms along the way offering breathtaking views of each cascading level. As the mist rises and the sunlight hits the spray, rainbows shimmer in the air. It's a magical sight, a moment where nature feels both wild and peaceful. These waterfalls are not only beautiful, they are also known for their healing powers. Studies have shown that the fine mist in the air can benefit the respiratory system. For this reason, Krimml is visited not only by tourists but also by those seeking rest and wellness. Rising high above the lakes and valleys of Austria's Salzkammergut region is a mountain that offers more than just a view. It offers a journey through time and beauty. This is Schafberg Mountain, a place where nature and history meet in the clouds. Standing at over 5,800 feet, Schafberg is one of the most iconic peaks in the region. Its steep cliffs and grassy slopes rise dramatically above Lake Wolfgang, offering some of the most breathtaking panoramic views in all of Austria. The most famous way to reach the summit is by the Schafberg Railway, a nostalgic steam-powered cogwheel train that has been climbing this mountain since the year 1893. In just over 30 minutes, the train climbs from the lakeside village of St. Wolfgang all the way to the top, puffing through forests, meadows, and rocky ridges. At the summit, the reward is clear, a 360-degree view stretching across the Salzkammergut lakes, the Gastein glacier, and deep into the Austrian Alps. On clear days, you can see as far as Bavaria and even the edge of the Czech Republic. The Schafberg summit is also home to one of Austria's oldest mountain inns. The Schafberg Spitze Hotel has stood here for over 100 years, offering food, rest, and unforgettable views to travelers from around the world. Hidden deep in the Salzkammergut region of Austria lies a lake of pure reflection and quiet majesty. This is Lake Gosau, or Gosau, a place where nature's beauty feels untouched by time. Surrounded by towering peaks and thick alpine forests, Lake Gosau is actually a small group of lakes. The most famous is the Vordere Gosaus, the front lake, known for its still waters and perfect mirror-like reflections of the Gastein glacier in the distance. The lake stretches just over 1 mile in length, yet what it lacks in size it makes up for in breathtaking scenery. On clear days, the white glacier appears to float above the water, while pine trees stand like silent guards along the rocky shore. A flat and well-maintained path circles the lake, making it an ideal walk for visitors of all ages. In just under 1 hour, you can stroll through cool forest shade, pass bubbling streams, and watch light dance on the lake's surface. The view here is one of Austria's most photographed, and for good reason. Few places combine calm, color, and clarity in such a peaceful way. High in the Austrian Alps, on a sun-drenched plateau surrounded by majestic peaks, lies the village of Seefeld in Tirol, a place where tradition, tranquility, and natural beauty come together in perfect harmony. Located just a short journey from Innsbruck, Seefeld rests at over 3,600 feet above sea level. It is one of Austria's most beloved year-round destinations, known for its wide open spaces, crisp mountain air, and timeless charm. The heart of Seefeld is its vibrant pedestrian zone, lined with shops, cafes, and flower-filled balconies. The village center invites you to slow down and simply enjoy the moment. Church bells ring gently, and the scent of fresh bread drifts through the alpine breeze. In winter, Seefeld transforms into a snow-covered wonderland. It is a world-famous center for cross-country skiing, offering over 150 miles of perfectly prepared trails. Seefeld has even hosted events in 2 Winter Olympic Games and several World Championships. But skiing is only part of the story. Snowshoeing, tobogganing, and ice skating add to the charm, while cozy alpine lodges offer warmth beside roaring fireplaces. When the snow melts, the plateau comes alive with green meadows, wildflowers, and sparkling lakes. The Salzkammergut, a region of lakes, mountains, and timeless Austrian beauty. Nestled in the heart of the country, this land of salt and splendor stretches across Upper Austria, Styria, and Salzburg, offering some of the most breathtaking landscapes in all of Europe. The name Salzkammergut means estate of the salt chamber, a reference to the region's long history of salt mining. For centuries, salt was called white gold, and it shaped the towns, trade, and culture of this land. Today, the Salzkammergut is known not for its mines, but for its magic. With over 70 lakes, rolling green hills, and towering alpine peaks, the region feels like a painting come to life. At its heart lies the town of Hallstatt, a picture-perfect village clinging to the edge of a clear mountain lake. With its wooden houses, church spire, and ancient salt mine, Hallstatt is often called the most beautiful lakeside town in the world. Nearby, Lake Wolfgang shimmers beneath Schafberg Mountain, where a steam-powered train climbs to the summit for unforgettable views. Further east, Lake Trattenbach and the town of Gmunden charm visitors with history, art, and elegant lakeside promenades. In the heart of the Austrian Alps, where snow-capped peaks meet medieval charm, lies a city that blends nature, culture, and history with effortless grace. This is Innsbruck, the capital of Tirol, and one of Austria's most iconic alpine destinations. Surrounded by towering mountains, Innsbruck is a place where tradition meets modern life. The name means bridge over the Inn, and at its center flows the River Inn, gliding past colorful houses and centuries-old buildings. Innsbruck's history stretches back more than 800 years. Its old town, or Altstadt, is a treasure of Gothic architecture, narrow alleys and grand archways. Here stands the Golden Roof, a shimmering balcony built in the 15th century for Emperor Maximilian I, decorated with over 2,000 gilded copper tiles. Above the city, the Nordkette mountain range rises steeply. A futuristic cable car takes you from the city center to Alpine heights in less than 30 minutes. From there, the view stretches over the rooftops of Innsbruck and deep into the heart of the Alps. Innsbruck is a city shaped by winter. It has hosted the Winter Olympic Games twice, and remains a favorite destination for skiers and snowboarders. Nestled on the northern shore of Lake Wolfgang, surrounded by green hills and rising peaks, lies the timeless village of St. Wolfgang im Salzkammergut. This is Austria, at its most peaceful, its most charming, and its most picturesque. St. Wolfgang has been welcoming travelers for centuries. It is named after St. Wolfgang of Regensburg, a bishop who, according to legend, founded a church here over 1,000 years ago. That church, the pilgrimage church of St. Wolfgang, still stands proudly at the water's edge, its white walls and tall tower watching over the lake. Inside, the church holds a masterpiece of Gothic art, the winged altar by Michael Packer, one of the most impressive religious carvings in all of Europe. The village itself is a blend of history and hospitality. Wooden balconies overflow with flowers in summer. Cobbled streets lead to quaint shops, traditional cafes, and inns that have stood for generations. Horse-drawn carriages still clip-clop through the narrow lanes, offering a glimpse into the past. At the edge of the lake, boats glide over turquoise waters. From here, ferries cross to nearby villages, while swans float gently by the docks. The scenery is like a painting, still, bright, and deeply peaceful. Rising above St. Wolfgang is the mighty Schafberg Mountain. On the northern shore of Lake Traunsee, where sparkling waters meet the rising peaks of the Austrian Alps, lies the elegant town of Gmunden, a place of lakeside charm, deep history, and timeless beauty. Gmunden is one of Austria's most graceful lake towns. Known for its therapeutic air and scenic location, it has long been a retreat for emperors, artists, and travelers in search of peace. At the heart of the town is the shimmering Lake Traunsee, the deepest lake in all of Austria. Its waters stretch over 7 miles, surrounded by forested hills and dramatic cliffs. Reflected in the still surface is the mighty Traunstein mountain, often called the guardian of the lake. But Gmunden is more than scenery. Its historic streets are lined with pastel-colored buildings and bustling cafes. Elegant promenades curve along the water's edge, perfect for a peaceful walk or a sunset view. One of Gmunden's most iconic landmarks is Ort Castle, a fairy tale structure perched on a small island, connected to the mainland by a long wooden bridge. With its white walls and pointed tower, the castle seems to float above the lake. Its origins date back more than 8 centuries. Gmunden is also famous for its ceramics. For over 300 years, the town has produced hand-painted pottery in green and white patterns, known simply as Gmunder ceramic. These designs are still crafted by hand today, in the same workshops that shaped the town's artistic soul. Tucked deep within Austria's high Tauern mountains, lies a village that feels both sacred and spectacular. This is Heiligenblut, a place where faith, legends, and alpine grandeur meet beneath the shadow of Austria's tallest peak. Heiligenblut means holy blood, and its name carries a powerful legend. According to tradition, a vial of Christ's blood was brought here in the 10th century by a Danish knight. It was placed in the village's church, which soon became a site of pilgrimage. Today, the Church of St. Vincent still stands proudly above the valley. Its pointed Gothic tower, framed by the majestic silhouette of Grossglockner, Austria's highest mountain, reaching nearly 13,000 feet into the sky. The village of Heiligenblut is small but full of charm. Wooden chalets cling to green slopes, and narrow streets wind through a landscape that changes with the seasons. In summer, wildflowers bloom in every meadow. In winter, thick snow blankets the rooftops, and the village becomes a peaceful wonderland. Heiligenblut is also the gateway to one of Europe's most stunning drives, the Grossglockner High Alpine Road. This legendary route climbs through hairpin turns and breathtaking vistas, offering views of glaciers, waterfalls, and mountain wildlife. In the heart of the Austrian Alps lies a wilderness of breathtaking scale and untamed beauty. This is Hohe Tauern National Park, the largest national park in Austria and one of the most spectacular natural reserves in all of Europe. Stretching across the provinces of Salzburg, Tirol, and Carinthia, the park covers more than 700 square miles. It is a land of towering peaks, ancient glaciers, roaring waterfalls, and high alpine valleys untouched by time. At its center stands the mighty Grossglockner, Austria's highest mountain, rising to nearly 13,000 feet. Around it unfolds a dramatic landscape sculpted by ice and stone over millions of years. Hohe Tauern is home to more than 300 mountains above 10,000 feet, along with over 200 waterfalls and 180 square miles of glaciers. Among them, the famous Pasteurs Glacier, the longest glacier in the Eastern Alps, slowly carves its way down the slopes, a living reminder of the forces that shaped this land. But this park is not only about mountains. It is alive with wildlife. Golden eagles soar in the skies, marmots whistle from the meadows, and ibex climb the steep cliffs with ease. Lynx, red deer, and even shy alpine wolves make their homes deep within the forested valleys. Throughout the park, trails lead visitors through this wilderness, from gentle family paths to challenging summit climbs. Just beyond the elegant streets of Vienna, where the city ends and nature begins, lies a forest steeped in history, beauty, and peace. This is the Vienna Woods, known in German as the Wiener Wald, a green and rolling landscape that has inspired emperors, artists, and thinkers for centuries. The Vienna Woods stretch across the northeastern edge of the Alps, covering nearly 500 square miles. It is a land of gentle hills, oak and beech trees, hidden chapels, and quiet meadows. A natural retreat at the edge of Austria's capital. Once the royal hunting grounds of the Habsburgs, the Vienna Woods are now a protected biosphere reserve. They are home to over 2,000 plant species and a rich variety of wildlife, including deer, wild boar, foxes, and rare birds that nest among the ancient trees. Walking through these woods feels like stepping back in time. Small villages with red-roofed houses nestle in the valleys. Vineyards stretch along the sunlit slopes. Monasteries like Heiligenkreuz, founded in the 12th century, still echo with Gregorian chants. The air is filled with the scent of pine, and the only sound may be the rustling leaves or the distant toll of a church bell. In the warmer months, hikers and cyclists explore hundreds of miles of trails, while in autumn, golden leaves blanket the forest floor. Along the gentle curves of the Danube River, between the towns of Melk and Krems, lies a valley of vineyards, castles, and timeless charm. This is the Wachau Valley, one of Austria's most beautiful cultural landscapes and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The Wachau stretches for about 20 miles, but within this small distance lies a world of history, tradition, and natural beauty. Terraced vineyards rise from the riverbanks, shaped by generations of winemakers who have worked this land since Roman times. Stone walls, tiny hamlets, and Baroque churches dot the hillsides. In spring, the valley comes alive with apricot blossoms. In autumn, it glows golden with the harvest. At the western edge stands the grand Melk Abbey, a masterpiece of Baroque architecture perched high above the Danube. Its golden halls and magnificent library have watched over the valley for more than 9 centuries. Further along the river, the ruins of Dürnstein Castle cling to a rocky hill. It was here that King Richard the Lionheart was held captive in the 12th century. A story wrapped in legend and history. The towns of the Wachau, such as Spitz, Weissenkirchen, and Dürnstein, are full of cobbled streets, quiet courtyards, and wine taverns that invite you to stay a while. Here, local wines, especially Grüner Veltliner and Riesling, reflect the flavors of the soil and the sun. High in the Austrian Alps, where waterfalls tumble through steep valleys and grand hotels cling to mountainsides, lies a place of mystery, elegance, and healing. This is Bad Gastein, a spa town like no other. Nestled in the Gastein Valley, Bad Gastein has drawn visitors for centuries. Emperors, composers, and poets came here not only for the crisp mountain air, but for the healing powers of its thermal springs. Waters rich in minerals bubble from deep within the earth, feeding ornate baths and spa houses that have stood since the days of the Habsburgs. The town is built dramatically into the mountainside. Its grand Belle Epoque architecture, tall, stately buildings with sweeping balconies, rises above a deep gorge, through which the Gastein waterfall crashes powerfully right through the heart of the town. This natural spectacle has long inspired awe. It is said that even Mozart was enchanted by the sound of its rushing water echoing between the cliffs. But Bad Gastein is more than a spa retreat. It is also a haven for skiers, hikers, and adventurers. In winter, the valley becomes a snow-covered wonderland, with miles of alpine slopes and peaceful forest trails. In summer, meadows bloom, and paths wind past mountain lakes, high peaks, and grazing cows. One of the town's most unique features is the Gastein Healing Gallery, a former mine turned into a natural therapy center deep inside the mountain, where people come for its radon-rich air and warm, dry climate. High above the blue waters of the Danube River, where the Wachau Valley begins to unfold in quiet elegance, stands one of the most magnificent Baroque structures in all of Europe. This is Melk Abbey, a masterpiece of faith, art, and architecture. For more than 9 centuries, Melk Abbey has stood watch over the river. Founded in the 11th century as a Benedictine monastery, it became a symbol of spiritual and cultural life in Austria. But its present glory came in the early 18th century, when the abbey was rebuilt in stunning Baroque style. With golden towers, sweeping staircases, and grand frescoed halls, Melk Abbey is a palace of both the sacred and the scholarly. It is not only a place of worship, but also home to one of the most beautiful libraries in the world, a treasure of ancient books, leather-bound volumes, and secret passageways. The abbey church, crowned with twin spires and a grand dome, dazzles with gilded altars, marble columns, and ceilings painted with heavenly scenes. It is a place where light pours through stained glass, and every corner tells a story of devotion and grandeur. Beyond its ornate halls, Melk Abbey remains a working monastery. Monks still live, pray, and study here, continuing a tradition that has lasted for hundreds of years. Nestled between towering mountains and resting along the banks of the Inn River lies a town where medieval walls meet modern life. This is Kufstein, the Pearl of Tirol, a place where history, culture, and nature blend seamlessly. Kufstein sits near the Austrian-German border and has long been a crossroads of empires, trade, and tradition. Its most iconic landmark, the Kufstein Fortress, rises proudly above the town. First mentioned over 800 years ago, this mighty stronghold has witnessed centuries of conflict, kings, and calm. Today, visitors reach the fortress by a glass elevator that cuts through the rock, a symbol of how this town honors its past while embracing the present. Within the fortress walls lies the Hero's Organ, the world's largest freestanding outdoor organ. Every day at noon, its music echoes across the valley, a sound of remembrance and peace heard far beyond the town. Below the fortress, Kufstein's old town invites you to wander through cobbled streets lined with pastel houses, charming shops, and cafes. In the heart of Austria, where rolling hills rise into steep alpine peaks, a railway winds through forests, tunnels, and towering viaducts. This is the Semmering Railway, a marvel of engineering and a journey through history and landscape. Completed in the mid-19th century, the Semmering Railway was the first mountain railway in Europe to be built with a standard gauge track. It stretches across over 20 miles of rugged terrain between Glognitz and Mürzschlag. Designed by the visionary engineer Karl Ritter von Geiger, it overcame what was once thought to be impossible, building a railway through the Alps. With over 10 miles of tunnels, more than 100 bridges, and 16 major viaducts, the Semmering Railway was declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site for its technical innovation and harmony with the surrounding landscape. But this is more than just a railway. It is a moving balcony to Austria's natural beauty. As the train climbs higher, passengers are treated to sweeping views of green valleys, dense forests, and charming Alpine villages. The surrounding Semmering landscape is a place of leisure and retreat. In the golden age of travel, Vienna's aristocrats came here to escape the city heat. Grand hotels and villas still stand as reminders of this elegant past. In winter, the hills become a haven for skiers. In summer, they offer cool breezes and scenic hiking paths. Hidden in the heart of the Austrian Tyrol, far from the rush of crowded cities, lies a valley untouched by time. This is Wildschönau, a name that means wild and beautiful meadow, and it lives up to every word. The Wildschönau Valley stretches peacefully across 4 charming villages: Niederau, Oberau, Aufach, and Tierbach. Together, they form a quiet haven surrounded by the Kitzbühel Alps, where green hills roll gently in summer and snow blankets the land in winter. Life here follows the rhythm of nature. Wooden chalets with flower-filled balconies overlook pastures where cows graze freely. Farmers still make traditional cheese, and local inns serve homemade schnapps distilled from mountain herbs. Niederau, the gateway to the valley, is known for its family-friendly atmosphere and peaceful charm. Oberau, just a few minutes away, is home to the iconic St. Margaretha Church, its onion-shaped dome rising proudly above the rooftops. Further into the valley lies Aufach, the heart of winter sports in Wildschönau. The Schafberg cable car carries visitors up into the mountains, offering stunning views and access to hiking trails and ski slopes that stretch as far as the eye can see. At the end of the road is Trattenbach, the smallest and most remote village in the valley. Tucked away in the green hills of northern Styria lies a town that has drawn pilgrims, travelers, and the faithful for centuries. This is Mariazell, Austria's most important pilgrimage site, and a place where faith, history, and Alpine beauty come together in quiet majesty. Mariazell was founded in the 12th century, when a Benedictine monk carried a statue of the Virgin Mary into the forest. Legend says that the statue miraculously split a boulder blocking his path, and a chapel was built in gratitude. From that humble beginning, Mariazell grew into a sacred destination known across Europe. At the heart of the town stands the Grand Mariazell Basilica, a Baroque masterpiece with twin towers and a central Gothic spire. Inside, golden altars and glowing candles surround the small wooden statue of the Virgin Mary, known as the Magna Mater Austria, or the Great Mother of Austria. Pilgrims come from far and wide to stand before her and offer prayers of hope and healing. Beyond its spiritual role, Mariazell is a picturesque Alpine village. Cobbled streets are lined with colorful houses, cozy cafes, and family-run shops offering traditional gingerbread, candles and hand-carved religious art. In winter, snow blankets the rooftops and transforms the town into a peaceful wonderland. In the far east of Tyrol, where the rugged Dolomites rise like ancient guardians, lies a sun-kissed town rich in history and charm. This is Lienz, a hidden gem where the warmth of the south meets the spirit of the Austrian Alps. Lienz is known as the Pearl of the Dolomites, and with good reason. It enjoys more than 200 sunshine days each year, giving the town a gentle Mediterranean feel despite its alpine setting. The town's history stretches back more than 2,000 years. It was once a Roman settlement known as Aguntum, and its ancient ruins still lie just outside the town. Today, Lienz blends that deep past with lively present-day culture. Colorful buildings line the main square, where locals and visitors gather in cafes, markets, and open-air concerts throughout the year. Above the town, Breathtaking Castle stands watch. Built in the 13th century, it now houses an art museum featuring the works of Albin Egger Lienz, one of Tyrol's most beloved painters. From the castle walls, sweeping views stretch across the valley and toward the surrounding peaks. Nature lovers find endless beauty here. The nearby Hohe Tauern National Park, Austria's largest nature reserve, offers hiking trails, alpine lakes, and meadows filled with wildflowers. In winter, the slopes of Zettersfeld and Holstein invite skiers to glide under clear blue skies. Yet, Lienz is more than its scenery. In the heart of the Austrian Alps, between rolling green pastures and snow-capped peaks, lies a town where elegance meets tradition. This is Kitzbühel, known across the world as one of the most exclusive ski resorts. Kitzbühel is much more than winter glamour. It is a place of deep history, stunning beauty, and timeless Tyrolean charm. Kitzbühel's story began over 700 years ago as a humble mining town. Today, its medieval core still tells that tale. Cobblestone streets, pastel-colored houses, and ancient church towers create a fairy tale atmosphere that has remained unchanged for centuries. But when the snow falls, Kitzbühel transforms. It becomes the stage for one of the most legendary ski races on Earth, the Hahnenkamm. Each January, elite athletes descend the fearsome Strife Slope, a course so steep and icy it has become a test of courage known around the globe. Yet beyond the fame, Kitzbühel is a place for everyone. In winter, it offers miles of perfectly groomed slopes, peaceful cross-country trails, and cozy mountain huts. In summer, the snow gives way to lush hiking paths, alpine meadows, and crystal-clear lakes. Tucked between rolling hills and deep green forests, there is a lake that looks as if it were painted by nature itself. This is Lake Fuschl, one of Austria's most pristine and peaceful alpine lakes. Located in the Salzkammergut region, Lake Fuschl is a place where the water is so clear it mirrors the sky. Its color shifts with the light, from deep emerald to pure turquoise. Surrounded by untouched woods and gentle peaks, the lake offers a quiet beauty that feels timeless. Stretching for about 4 miles in length, Lake Fuschl remains remarkably unspoiled. Motorboats are not allowed here, preserving the natural stillness. Only rowboats, paddleboards, and swimmers glide across its calm surface. Along its shores, small trails wind through the forest, perfect for hiking, cycling, or simply pausing to take in the view. The air is clean, the breeze fresh, and the sounds are of birdsong and rustling leaves. Here, nature speaks in whispers. The lakeside village of Fuschl am See sits like a postcard come to life. In the shadow of the Tenningdurger Mountains, where alpine forests whisper secrets of old, lies one of Austria's most enchanting natural wonders, the Golling Waterfall. Just a short distance from the historic town of Golling and Salzkammergut, this waterfall has captured the hearts of nature lovers for centuries. Surrounded by dense woodland and moss-covered stone, it is a place that feels untouched by time. The Golling Waterfall begins high in the mountains, where underground springs burst forth from the rock and cascade nearly 200 feet in 2 majestic stages. The upper tier emerges from the earth itself, a powerful stream leaping into the daylight. It then rushes down the lower drop, thundering into a rocky basin below. Visitors follow a winding forest trail to reach the falls. Wooden bridges and narrow stone steps lead closer with each turn. As you approach, the sound builds, a steady roar that echoes through the gorge, blending with birdsong and the rustle of wind through fir trees. Mist rises from the base of the waterfall, catching the light and painting rainbows in the air. On warm summer days, the cool spray refreshes the faces of hikers and photographers alike. In winter, the scene transforms. The rushing water slows, and the edges freeze into shimmering sculptures of ice. Hidden deep within the rolling hills of Lower Austria lies a natural wonder carved by time and water, the Trattenbach Gorge. This narrow, winding gorge is a peaceful escape into the heart of nature. For thousands of years, the Trattenbach stream has worked its way through ancient rock, slowly shaping a dramatic path lined with mossy cliffs, cascading waterfalls, and lush greenery. The gorge is not vast, but it holds a quiet, mystical beauty. As you walk along the wooden walkways and narrow trails, the sound of rushing water guides you forward. The air is cool and fresh, filled with the scent of wet stone and forest pine. Steep rock walls rise on either side, sometimes only a few feet apart. Small bridges cross over the stream, offering views of the crystal-clear pools below and the gentle falls that tumble from stone to stone. The Trattenbach Gorge is part of a scenic hiking route that connects to the Semmering region, an area known for its deep valleys, historic railways, and timeless alpine charm. Along the path, information signs share stories of geology, local plants, and the long history of the area. In spring, wildflowers bloom beside the trail. In the heart of Upper Austria lies a vast, untamed wilderness, a place where nature follows its own rhythm, untouched and unspoiled. This is the Karl-Kalpen National Park, the largest forested national park in Austria. Stretching across more than 200 square miles, this park is a sanctuary of deep valleys, wild rivers, and rugged limestone peaks. Its name, Karl-Kalpen, means limestone Alps, and the landscape is shaped by ancient rock formations carved by wind and water over millions of years. But the true soul of Karl-Kalpen lies in its forests. Here, one of Central Europe's last remaining primeval beech forests thrives. Trees that are hundreds of years old tower over mossy ground, forming a green cathedral where silence is sacred. The park is home to a rich variety of wildlife. Lynx roam silently through the woods. Golden eagles soar high above the cliffs. Salamanders, owls, deer, and even wolves find refuge in these wild lands. It is a place where biodiversity is not just preserved, it is celebrated. Nestled deep in the heart of Tyrol, surrounded by towering alpine peaks, lies one of Austria's most cherished treasures, the Wachau Valley. This valley stretches for nearly 20 miles, opening wide between majestic mountain ranges. It is a place where nature's grandeur meets living tradition, where every season paints the landscape in a different light. In summer, the valley is alive with color. Rolling green meadows stretch towards snow-dusted summits. More than 800 miles of marked hiking trails lead through forests, across ridges, and to alpine huts where time seems to stand still. Cows graze peacefully, their bells echoing through the hills. In winter, Zillertal transforms into a wonderland of snow. Four large ski regions offer slopes for every level, from gentle runs for families to steep descents for the brave. Powdery trails, cross-country routes, and cozy mountain lodges make it a paradise for snow lovers. But Zillertal is more than a destination for adventure. It is also the home of music, craftsmanship, and warm hospitality.